Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to the witnesses. Under Biden's leadership, family unit housing centers were shut down. Illegal immigrants were electronically tracked instead of being detained. Children became tools for criminals to avoid detention. Congress has demanded answers, and we've been met with silence, delay, or worse yet, a flat-out refusal to take responsibility. And I want you to know that I have the same sort of outrage you heard from Kennedy and Blackburn. Now, this isn't just a situation that affects the federal government and a few states at the border. The failures that I've talked about at the federal level have created problems for us, even in Iowa, at the state and local level. Worse yet, federal government has failed these kids. So in August, I wrote to Iowa's law enforcement people, primarily the 99 county sheriffs. They told me that the cartels didn't just traffic humans and drugs at the border. The cartels have a presence in communities across the United States and are particularly active along the major highways. In Iowa, we have the Sinaloa and the CJNJ cartels. Now in the counties of Greene, Story, Marshall, and Polk County, right at the heart where the I-35 meets I-80. Those two highways cut across the United States. This problem is not unique to Iowa. These cartels are active in many states across the country. So to Director Morant, what steps has Homeland Security investigations taken to combat cartels in the interior of our nation, and what tools would be helpful in rooting them out? Can you provide a detailed plan to Congress by the end of the year to accomplish this?
Thank you for that question. As to the first part of that, HSI deploys a very robust strategy to disrupt and dismantle all transnational criminal organizations. We also use a force multiplier of vetted units overseas to try and push the border out before these crimes enter our borders. So we have a very, very active criminal strategy that deals with criminal activity not only within the United States, but outside of the United States.
Can you provide, you're going to have a comprehensive plan by the end of November?
I would have to take that back, sir.
Okay. Well, also to you, the New York Times reported back in February that over at least the last 2 years, HHS could not reach more than 85,000 children it placed the sponsors. So how many of the 85,000 missing children has Homeland Security investigations and its law enforcement partners been able to track down?
HSI responds to every instance of human trafficking that we're made aware of as soon as we're made aware of it.
But you don't have a number for us, the number that you've actually been able to track down?
For specific numbers, I'd have to take that back.
Well, can you get us an answer in writing?
I'll take that back, sir.
You mean you can't even tell me if you can get an answer in writing, the number of people that's been affected? And
the response will be in writing, Senator.
Last Friday, I received an HHS response to a letter that I sent back in December. The response mentions that the Office of Refugee Resettlement recognizes the importance of notifying local authorities when abuse and neglect of unaccompanied children is suspected or uncovered. Director Dunmarcos, how many times did ORR and its third parties notify state and local authorities with concerns about possible child abuse or neglect?
Thank you, Senator, for that question. There are numerous ways and at different time periods that a referral may be made to local law enforcement, HSI, or the Office of Trafficking in Persons. That can happen while they are in our care. It can happen after they've been released from our care. They can be reported by the child themselves, by the sponsor, by the post-release service provider. So there's a number of different times that these reports can be made. For specific numbers, I would want to be precise, so I will take that back.
Okay. You said you were a humanitarian, and all the people on the group witnesses would probably say the same thing, and I'm not going to argue with whether you're humanitarian or not, but I hope you realize that not enforcing the law at the border puts us in a position of a life or death situation. You have people on the terrorist watch list that can't get on an airplane to come into this country, but they come across the river and get into this country. 800, 900 people die in the desert, get lost in the desert and die. We have criminals coming here and creating murders. We have rape on women coming through Mexico. We have human trafficking. You have the fentanyl killing 112,000 people. You're dealing with a life or death situation by not the enforcing of the law. And the Constitution says that the laws should be faithfully executed, and they aren't being. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.